Namaskar. Good evening. Very good evening. Today is the day when we will start our fifth Rangotshav phase two, the second National Theatre Festival. And in this festival, in this ceremony, we have got several eminent theatre personalities from different parts of India. We are very glad to them. They have come. Let's introduce with our guest. Firstly, I've announced uh, the guest, our principal chief guest, Sri Ashok Mishra, the eminent screenplay writer and lyricist, two times National Award winner from Mumbai, Maharashtra. He will be joining with us shortly. Secondly, we will welcome to our special chief guest, Dr. Shejyoti Roy Mukherjee, Associate Professor at Vivekananda College and eminent actor from Kolkata, West Bengal. Um, Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to our ceremony. Uh, we also welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Dhruva.
Next, we will call upon to attend our virtual ceremony. Our main chief guest, Sri Chandra Dassan, eminent artistic director of Loco 30 Theatre from Kochi, Kerala. Uh, Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Uh, we are glad that you have joined with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we will call upon our eminent chief guest, Sri Balwant Thakur, Director IDCIC Portrait Cultural Diplomat of External Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, former Secretary of Jammu and Kashmir Art, Culture and Language, and eminent theatre activist of Natarang from Jammu and Kashmir. Welcome you, sir. We are very thankful to you that you have joined with us. Thank you, sir. You have now at the abroad and still you have get give us time. So we are very thankful to you. Thank you, sir. And also we will call upon the special guest of our ceremony, Dr. Yamnam Sadanand Singh, eminent director of Kanglai Mine Theatre Repertory from Imphal, Manipur. Thank you. Thank you, sir, to join with us. Thank you, all of you. And I also announce that the name also Sri Devabroto Ghosh, the president and eminent Jatra Shilpi from Noihati Rongoshena, to join with us. We will start the ceremony through the welcome speech, which will be delivered by our president, Sri Devabroto Ghosh. Please.
Namaskar. I, Devabroto Ghosh, here to welcome all of you in the August gathering of 5th Rangotshav Phase 2, 2021-22, Second National Theatre Festival organized by Rangoshena. We are still in the follow of the protocol of COVID-19, maintaining physical distancing, but the show must go on. So we keep on connect socially, especially with wonderful, magical form of performing art, theatre. Theatre speaks of all shades of human civilization through its various forms, showcases the soul truth. I can recall famous quote of Oscar Wilde, I regard the theatre as the greatest of all art forms, the most immediate way in which a human being can share with another the sense of what it is to be a human being. Without keeping all the viewers waiting much more, we welcome all the guests in the National Online Theatre Festival. We have with us Principal Chief Guest Sri Ashok Mishra, eminent screenplay writer and lyricist, two-time National Award winner, Mumbai, Maharashtra. On behalf of Rangosena, we welcome you, sir. It is pleasure to have with us special chief guest Dr. Shejuti Roy Mukherjee, Associate Professor at Vivekananda College and eminent actor Kolkata, West Bengal. We welcome you, madam, in this August Theatre Festival. We have with us main chief guest Sri Chandra Dashan, eminent artistic director of Lokadharmi Theatre, Kochi, Kerala. We welcome you, sir, in the Theatre Festival. It is our real pleasure to welcome eminent chief guest Sri Balwant Thakur, Director IGCIC, Port Louis, Department of Mauritius, Ministry of External Affairs, GOI, former Secretary of Jammu and Kashmir Art, Cultural and Languages, and eminent theatre activist of Nataranga, Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you very much, sir, for your gracious presence. We also have with us Dr. Yamnan Sadanand Singh, eminent director of Kanglai Mime Theatre Repertory, Imphal, Manipur. We welcome sir in this second National Theatre Festival. We know that everybody is curiously to watch various theatrical performances from 10th to 24th July 2021-22 of this fifth Rangotsav Phase 2. We welcome all the group theatres in this online theatre festival from various states of our country. This inspiring presence of all the personalities is in this inauguration program. Definitely bless the occasion and be eye-opener for the theatrical fraternity. Let this session initiate a theatrical moment and let all the participants rejoice. Namaskar.
Thank you, Ms. Sri Ghosh. Next, we will, with the permission of all our guests, we will do a small replica inauguration process by our Vice President, Srimati Kakuli Bhomik. Let's watch this small inauguration. Thank you. Thank you, Srimati Bhaumik. And thank you all. And thank you also the viewers. Let's we start with our ceremony with several memorial speech, which we are eagerly waiting for to listen. First, I also request to all our participating directors if they want to interact with us, they can comment and they can contact, they can talk with our chief guests also. We will also disclose the schedule in a small bar. It's going on. So first, we will request to our special chief guest, Dr. Shijyuti Roy Mukherjee, the Associate Professor at Vivekananda College, an eminent actor from Kolkata, West Bengal, to deliver her memorial speech on post-pandemic theatre opportunities and challenges. Uh, is ma'am, uh, ma'am, please.
Namaskar. Thank you, Drupad. A very good evening to you all. Very best wishes to Noihati Rongoshena for arranging to join the theatre community of the different corners of India and also abroad. We are really in desperate need of a joint effort to overcome this difficult time. So they have provided a platform to interact and exchange ideas, a necessity right now. Theatre workers across the globe are trying to figure out what can be the structure of the post-pandemic theatre. Looking at the pandemic situation in India, we are anticipating a third wave and theatre halls are closed. Probably they will be opening slowly, but the main problem that the theatre workers have to overcome first is re-establishing the lost relationships, rejuvenating the bonds with the audience. Social distancing has made us homebound, and people will take time to come back to the auditorium. Keeping this in mind, there have been attempts to find out alternate performance spaces. But the aesthetics of proscenium and non-proscenium surely are different. For proscenium theatre, what changes are we anticipating? Will there be much emphasis on the form or the content? We do not know. But it is definitely true that if the content is unable to connect with the audience, only the form cannot be the savior. Will this pandemic leave its impact on the text? What will happen to the thousands of theatre workers in India who are experiencing a severe economic handicap? Many ACE theatre practitioners have been forced to look for alternative livelihoods. Will they be able to come back again to the stage? Will the budding practitioners still have the courage to take theatre as a profession? Will there be search for a new theatre language with a different kind of text and a small number of performers? There are so many questions. We do not know the answers. But what can be the opportunities? There will definitely be a new beginning, a total reshuffling of our ideas of contemporary theatre. In West Bengal, there have been a huge number of productions in the pre-pandemic situation. There were a lot of repetition of ideas and dearth of new thinking, which often led to quality compromises. Probably in the post-pandemic situation, there will be collaborations. Otherwise, it will be difficult to meet up the expenses for making a theatre production. And what about the audience? They have also been shattered by the COVID waves. Will they be able to pay the price for the tickets? Another problem lies with the condition of the theatre halls. In general, there is very less maintenance. Since they are closed for a pretty long time now, are they still in working conditions? If not, who will bear the maintenance charges? For the productions, there must be an assemblage of efficient quality artists so that there can be standard productions to draw the audience once again back, which will be a Herculean task. Problems are many. We do not have the answers right now. But what has been a ray of hope is that these challenging times have brought the theatre fraternity much closer. There have been help not from the government, but from the fellow theatre workers. There have been several efforts for collection of funds and distribution of daily necessities amongst the friends in need. Some theatre groups have showcased their previous performances on online platforms to collect money and then buying essentials for the technicians. So, after the pandemic, it's again a new horizon to explore, a blank canvas to paint. And we will again look forward and explore new hopes, new avenues, new collaborations. The historical verdict of Supreme Court of London for opening of theatre halls is definitely a moral boost of theatre workers all over the globe. So, we will surely fight back. So, I end with hope and with a light of hope. So, I shall be eager to listen to the speeches given by the dignitaries who are present here. Thank you once again, Rongoshena. Thank you all.
Thank you also, ma'am. Thank you very much for this wonderful speech about give us a rate. We'll get some for the next future of the theatre. Next, we will go to our main chief guest, Sri Chandra Dasan, eminent artistic director of Lokadharmi Theatre from Kochi, Kerala, to deliver his memorial speech about Indian theatre and human rights. So, welcome you.
Good evening, everybody. I think it's a privilege to speak in this grand inaugural ceremony of Rangasena. I salute the good spirits which you have held to organize such a festival in this time of pandemic, and I am very privileged to see my dear friends Balwant Thakurji and Imnam Sadanand Singh, and of course the other dignitaries like Senchuta along with me. Nice meeting you, smiling again. So I'm just here to express my camaraderie and togetherness with this whole event than making a big speech about this topic, because this topic itself cannot be condensed to say 5 minutes or 10 minutes of deliberation, because it speaks about the whole history of theatre itself, human rights and theatre. From the very beginning itself, we could see that theatre belonged to two categories of performances. Text, I include the text and the performance together in the word theatre. See, one of the theatre is done to support the establishment, the power structure, the social structure. So to support it and keep it as such. And the other kind of theatre is questioning it, making revolts, putting unpleasant questions to the established norms of power structure, morality, concerns, rules, regulations, do's and not do's, etc. So these two kinds of theatre was there from the beginning of theatre itself. See, when we look into the great theatres histories, we can see Sophocles and Euripides at the two ends. We all know that Aristotle placed Sophocles as the best playwright, the model playwright in his book Poetics, citing Oedipus as the model play, the best play. And we could see that he did not give, or that time Euripides did not get the same importance or same acceptance as Sophocles did. So we could look into the reasons of that. When we are reading the two plays, we could see that the productions of the text of Sophocles, Euripides, and the whole Poetics, the whole aesthetic of Poetics is to support the establishment as such, not to question it, not to disturb it with posing good questions. It's all said, a great hero at the site falling down to a tragedy because of a small problem hamartia inside him, undergoing all these troubled times, tested, and this is a model for the people to watch and get want that don't do this. So this kind of a catharsis can keep the social structure as such. Nobody should question it. But look into Euripides. Euripides did not make such characters as the heroes, which itself is a problem. He made women, for example, Medea, Antigone. So these are women, and not belonging to that high class or high elite kings or all those things. Medea is a tribal woman, tribal lady, got married to Jason, one of a great hero. But the main character is Medea, not Jason. And she is questioning the establishment, the morality, what you did to me, and doing a revenge on that. So she's trying to break down the establishment, the norms of the concepts of that present society. So that has been a revolution itself. So that's why the society cannot accept, means the establishment society cannot accept Euripides as equal as Sophocles. So this is there anywhere. Look into Indian history. We have Kalidasa and Bhasa are the two opposites. Bhasa was putting questions. He's showing that there is another solution. He's saying that in his play Pancharatra, there is a possibility that in Mahabharata, if Duryodhana has agreed to give half of this kingdom to Yudhishthira, then there was no war. And in Pancharatra, he writes so. So there is no war. He very happily says, okay, take 50%, take half of this kingdom, and you rule that, I rule this. And it's solved. It's settled. No war. If there is no Kurukshetra war, there's no war in Kurukshetra, then there is no space for Bhagavad Gita. If there is no space for Bhagavad Gita, then what is Mahabharata? And Bhasa very, very interestingly points that this was also one solution to deal with the story. This was another chance, but we missed it. So this is again questioning the whole set of ethical, mythological understanding, which we may not be able to raise at this point of time, which he could do that at his time. Because the time has, I don't know whether we are going forward or going backward. I don't know whether the present contemporary society is leaping forward or getting backward. When we look at the play, the way Bhasa was writing, I don't know whether we could have the same freedom. We could have same right to do so. So this poses the question of human right. What is human right? Whose right is human? UNESCO, UNO, and other people say that no, it's the right of the underprivileged. Of course, it's the right of the majority also. Human rights is the right of everybody. But when we say human rights, we are focusing on the underprivileged, the less powerful, the segregated, the delits, the women, all those people who are marginalized. So we should give the same kind of privileged position and all these benefits of what we are enjoying, what the whole society is enjoying, equally to this underprivileged people also. So that's about human rights. In the time of independence, the struggle for independence, when the British was ruling, so then the human right was the right of self-freedom. We Indians wanted the freedom from them. And in all these places, theatre was a very important thing. We know that during the time of independence struggle, we have a lot of theatre working. And we know that very famous Censorship Act of 1886, which the British people imposed to censor plays. We know what happened of many productions. We want to censoring, means the government, the establishment cannot allow this performance to happen because this is questioning the power of the state. Then the state was the British state, the British government. You are speaking something else which are not very friendly to us. We don't want that voice to be heard, so we censor it. And the sad thing is that that rule, which was suppressing the Indian theatre performance scenario, is still valid. It is still operating in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat and in many other states. Of course, luckily Kerala has removed it, Bengal has removed it, but legally that rule is still there, that 1886 rule imposed by the. So it's questioning even the possibility of a performance. So all these things should be elaborated much in a much larger way, much detailed way. I'm just putting something that came to myself, means at this moment. So mostly when it speaks about human rights, sometimes it gets means against the established power situation. Then the state says you are an anti-state, you are an anti-national. Because it's not anti-national, we are just speaking about our own right. It happens in America. When the native Indians, means the red Indians of America, when they are voicing their thing, it becomes anti-American. But they are the real people of America. But their voice becomes anti-American. I couldn't understand what. So sometimes even the content is not important. The possibility of performance itself is revolting at times. At times we cannot perform. We are not allowed to perform. So sometimes the content is important. The way you perform is important. The performance itself is important. And who performs is important. If a Dalit group or a tribal group, we are speaking, a tribal group performs, then that performance may not be seen equally important as the performance of an urban elite performance group. Why? Why there is an imbalance between the performance of an urban elite so-called professional theatre company and a performance which may be crude, rustic, but coming from a native tribe? Get the same thing. The native tribes may not be. We could remember the struggles which the great Habib Tanvir has to face to put up his productions. Even there was attempts to censor lines from Charandas tour. That very, very, very classical, the greatest play that happened in India has been put compelled to force lines by the left wing, right, by everybody. So this struggle between theatre and the establishment, the state, and its attempts to voice the unheard sound, to tell history from another perspective. History may not be that history which you read in the textbook written by the so-called academics, because many times the writing is to support the establishment of the then establishment. We know that history is being written and rewritten and rewritten and rewritten. So which is the absolute history? We are digging up things and creating new history. So all these things are there. The whole social structuring, social dynamics of history, culture, sociology, politics, everything get connected into theatre, because theatre is that art form which is intrinsically connected with voicing protest. So we hope that theatre gets back into its basic character of voicing the unheard voices, which will be speaking about human rights. I know that I am speaking at a time when even a performance is not happening. We are safely remaining in our own homes, secluded from each other. There is no connection. Of course, the Balunji is smiling. There's no connection, but trying to stretch my hand to you and you stretch your hand to me and try to connect and contact. But even the possibility of non-performance is there, non-live performance is there. But theatre has undergone so many tests through these centuries, through these thousands of years, and overcome that, and it will go on greatly. And I salute you for organizing at least an online streaming festival like this. I'm very happy to see my friends of theatre and be in their company. And thank you. This is not a speech, but just some scattered thoughts about the basic nature of theatre. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a wonderful experience, wonderful thought you have shared with us. Thank you very much, Sri Chandra Dasan. Next, we go to our eminent chief guest, Sri Balwant Thakur, Director, IGCIC Port Louis, Cultural Diplomat at Mauritius, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Former Secretary of Jammu and Kashmir Arts, Culture and Languages, an immense theatre activist of Naturang from Jammu and Kashmir, to deliver his memorial speech about Indian theatre and national integrity. Sir, please.
I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as Mr. Chandra Dasan said, it's not an occasion to deliver speeches. I suppose the kind of topic which has given to me is such a broad and such his canvas is so huge that I may be taking 2 to 3 hours to at least come up with the outline of the subject. Uh, well. Uh, is thankful. I'm thankful to the organizers, though we never communicated. I just got one message, and suddenly today is a Saturday that I have a little time because I'm new to Port Louis. Right now, I'm in Indira Gandhi Center of Indian Culture, based in Port Louis, Mauritius, and I'm very new to this place. I'm just settling down. I came from Johannesburg, South Africa. Earlier, I was culture diplomat of India to South Africa. From there, I've come here, and nice to see Chandra Dasan and my friend. I hope he could recognize me. We have been meeting on many occasions. Well, I think theater, as Chandra Dasan described, its canvas is so big. We can put everything together into this. We, as of now saying something and speaking about all these dynamics of theater will not do when the kind of challenges which we are facing as of now in this hour of crisis. You see the world over, theaters are closed. There's nothing happening. Fact remains that the theater is something which never happens unless until you have a performer, you have a space, and there's a spectator. It ultimately, whatever happens, it happens between the spectator and the performer, and all are missing the social distancing and other protocols. But despite that, there are few people in our country, not only in our country but world over, who are keeping this spirit of theater alive through online mediums. This festival, which you are going to live stream in nowadays to come, is certainly going to remind people about theater, and there may be a lot of people who may get inspired from this kind of work. But when I look around, very few initiatives like yours is being taken in my country. Though in other parts of the world, the major repertories, you find that they are now trying to find new ways. As I don't know who one of the speaker was telling. In UK they are now opening theaters. So because my daughter is working in one of a major national repertory theater of Birmingham, and she keep telling me that now theaters in UK are being opened very soon, and I'm hopeful that the similar thing will start happening in India as well. Although India has other kind of challenges, because the day we are going to open theaters, I don't think we will have a real simple thing to restart our work. When we talk of theater as an initiative or as an activity to integrate the nation, I think India is the best example for that. We have had a number of events and number of exchanges, and I have been a part of that, being a cultural administrator as well. We have had a lot of, in fact, I was a part of one of the major initiatives which is called National Cultural Exchange Program and Interstate Cultural Exchange Program. And for that, I took a lot of groups from Jammu and Kashmir to various parts of India, be it south or the east or the northeast. And I think theater has been a binding force. it has played a huge role in integrating the entire country's culture, the entire country's cultural ethos. And I'm hopeful that we come across to see the same days again. We have been a witness and a part of so many uh, similar kind of happenings all over India. In fact, we look at the entire length and breadth of the country. It's only the theater which has been connecting the entire country together. There are certain things, other cultural performances which were limiting to certain regions, certain areas, but it is theater which has that capacity to speak across regions and across language barriers. And let's hope, and I compliment the organizers for holding such a festival, though it's a live streaming, but and something is there. Now something is better. Then we are a lot of my friends. They are not just confining themselves and not doing anything, but there are few people. I think they have initiated a lot of talk shows. We at Natrang, it's the now second series which is going on. Perhaps you people might have heard. Earlier we did an international theatre talk show, which Chandra Dasan was one of the speakers there. Now we have started another series of young theatre directors and actors. In fact, they never got an opportunity to come on such platforms, and we are coming up with very fine people who are sharing their experiences. Fact remains that they are the only people who are into theatre practice, and people like us and people who cross one age, they are only into now giving sermons in theatre. But there are people who are now practically doing. They are the ones who are confronting with hell lot of problems, and by sharing, I suppose we will be able to come out with some kind of way out. Because it's always very good to listen to others. You need not to commit mistakes yourself. You need not to look for things yourself, but sometimes you get inspired from others as well. I think such initiatives will go a long way in reviving the dying tradition of theatre in India. I must say, I must admit this way, because already we were in a huge crisis. There's no state sport, there's no public sport as such. Particularly, I'm talking of the northern world, northern India. People hardly buy tickets. People hardly. You have to go around and take obligations from people to bring them to theatre. We were already in a crawling stage, and this since last almost now it's going to be 2 years now. There's no activity, and this is going to affect the theatre movement of the entire country. But let's hope there are people, there are initiatives like yours. It will certainly revive the activity. And thank you for inviting me. I'm in fact I have to rush somewhere in between.
Thank you.
You must understand, I'm just settling down. My COVID period, this protocol, I cannot go to public. As you know, the countries out here are very strict. It's not like India that you are a big man, so everybody will allow you to
You can
move
roam
here.
around.
I have to restrict myself, restrict my movement. From Monday onwards, I'll be allowed to have public contact. Before that, it's almost now 21 days. They have not allowed me to move. That's how in entire Mauritius, the number of cases per day is not more than 5. You can imagine the way they have
Still the
contained it.
restriction is there.
Let's hope I'm going to be here for another few years, and it's one of the major, the biggest Indian culture center abroad, and we have a lot of activities. And let's hope that things start happening, and we invite you people. Chandra Dasan should be ready with the production, and we invite you to Port Louis for a performance.
Oh.
That's what I wish. We keep meeting. It's the best way to integrate people. This initiative is also supporting the integration of India, integration of culture, integration of intellectual happenings. Thank you very much. And I will take your leave as well at the same time, because I have to rush somewhere. There is some formal meeting with some officers. Look into the problems of this.
We're glad that you have joined with us. Thank you. Thank you very much, Thakurji. Thank you. Next, we will move on to our special guest, Dr. Yamnam Sadanand Singh, eminent director of Kanglang Mine Theatre Repertory from Impal, Manipur, to deliver his memorial speech on Indian theatre and cultural harmony. So please.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah. Good.
In fact, my topic and the last topic means Indian theatre and national integration. It is somewhat similar. Anyway, I'm very happy to say something about Indian theatre and cultural harmony. First of all, I would like to regard the earlier speaker, Sir Chandradasan and Sanjuti Roy Mukherjee and Balwant Thakurji. As you know that I'm not expert like Chandradasan and Balwant Thakurji. I'm nothing. I'm doing some mime theatre, non-verbal theatre in Manipur, and I have some knowledge in. So in India, we have lot of the theatre history, theatre traditions, say from Sanskrit theatre, traditional theatre forms, and in the medieval theatre, and theatre after British invention, British Empire. So many theatre history in India. We all aware about the theatre history in India, and we can't discuss that traditional theatre in India. That we had lots of the traditional theatre that Ankiya Nata from Assam and Sumalila from Manipur, and say Kudyatam, Swang theatre, Yaksagana, Bhawai, Terikotu, Banpatra, Nautanki, etc. So I'm very interested in this traditional theatre because during their performance and they performed one village to another village in the vast area of the India. So they can communicate very easily with the villagers, and they can exchange their talent and then their creative works. So automatically there will be cultural harmony within among us. So it is a very interesting thing. And one another thing is say Badal Sarkar of the one of the Indian theatre director. He is from the West Bengal. He came in Manipur in 1972, and he conducted one workshop and assisted by the great guru Kanhailalji. So in that period, it was very, 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 very useful to the people of Manipur. Badal Sarkarji introduced that the new form of the theater, very simple theater. That theater can perform everywhere, in the street or in the mandap or in the auditorium. So from that workshop, Oja Kanhailan received the style and the techniques and method of the Badal Sarkarji, and then Oja Kanhailan established his own style. So the style of the Oja is very great in India. say around 70% is non-verbal and 30% is verbal plays, and very simple and very easy to communicate with the audience, easy to communicate with the spectators. So in that way, we have exchange with the Bengali Bengali directors and Manipuri directors, and we can exchange Bengali directors and Manipuri directors. We can exchange the creative thoughts also. So in that way, we can automatically we have the cultural harmony also, and that we ourselves also went to Kolkata frequently, and we organize mime workshops and theater workshops. Say in the EJCC organized Eastern Zonal culture organized Eastern Zonal EJCC organized so many seminars and theater workshops. At that time, from Manipur, myself and the other theater directors went, and we can communicate with the artists and directors of the Bengali activists, theater activists. So in that way, we can contact and we can exchange our mind, our thought, our creative ideas. So this is the I have experience during my my play production, my theater works, and also I would like to mention that National Mime Festival that is organized by the Indian Mime Theatre in Kolkata every year. So in every year, so around say 200-300 participants came in Kolkata for participating in the National Mime Festival. At that time, we can exchange our thoughts, our mind, and our mime techniques and theatrical devices. So many things we can exchange in that festival also. And also, I myself to organize National Theatre Festival many times, a National Theatre Festival, a National Mime Festival in Impal under the sponsorship of the Ministry of Culture. So, and under the sponsorship of the Sangeet Academy. So I invited all the mime groups from Mumbai, from Rajasthan, from Delhi, from Assam. So many mime theater group came in Imphal, and they witnessed the Manipuri mime plays. And also I organized the workshops, theater workshop, mime workshop. So in the theater workshop, we included Manipuri martial arts and Manipuri folk song, Manipuri music. So they learned Manipuri music, Manipuri thangta, Manipuri martial art. So we can exchange. They learn, say they matlab say from UP. They learn participant from UP. They learn Manipuri thangta, Manipuri martial arts, and Manipuri movement. So Manipuri movement is Manipuri dance movement, or Manipuri movement is somewhat different from other states. So they are very happy. And also I went to Chandradasan's theater in 2019 and performed at his complex. And the villagers and the theater workers, they witnessed our performance, non-verbal performance. So after performance, everyone came and respect, and they congratulate us. So automatically we exchange at the auditorium at the complex of the Chandradasan. So in that way, this is the example. Like this, in India, there are lots of festivals, there are lots of performance, there are lots of the theater tradition, maybe traditional theater, maybe Sanskrit theater, maybe contemporary theater, maybe alternative theater, maybe so and so. So automatically we can exchange our minds, and automatically we have the cultural harmony. And lastly, I would like to mention one theater personality, that Rudra Prasad Sengupta. He also took theater class in the National Mime Festival, National Mime Workshop in Kolkata. So we perceive lots of the his technique, his creative thoughts. So automatically we have cultural harmony, and we can exchange to each other. So I would like to conclude now. I don't know. Because this is pandemic. This is COVID pandemic. I don't prepare very well, and also we organize. The Kangli Mime Theatre Repertory organize Zoom online presentation in Manipur. It is speaking in Manipuri language to ease the COVID tension in Manipur. So there are lots of the COVID tension in Manipur. So we would like to some relax from the COVID. So we have we have the programs 4 times in a week. So nowadays we are so busy for this organizing Zoom online presentation, and I am one of the hosts. So the arranging the topic, the arranging and contacting the peoples. So I can so that I can't prepare your topic also. So today I'm speaking whatever I think right now. So forgive me whatever wrong in my speech. So lastly, I would like to thank the organizer, Nahiti Rangasena, and I wish all the best, the grand success, this second National Theatre Festival. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Singh. May I announce the schedule of the play? Okay, 10 July. First play is The Journey of the Ring, directed by Sri Gunakar Dev Goswami. It's an Assamese play by the group Purburango Assam. It will be premiere on 8:30 on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. So 11 July, the play is Shikhandi, directed by Sri Rajneesh Kumar. It's a Hindustani Magahi language-based play by Natavangam Nauda Bihar on 11 July at 8 p.m. on YouTube. 12 July, play 3, directed by Srimati Shivangi Chakraborty and Srimati Riya. It's a Hindi play by the production of Fourth Wall Production, Delhi. 13 July, the play is Sophocles Antigone, directed by Srimati Sumati K.R. It's a Kannada play by Janamanna Sangatani, Mysore. 14 July, the play is What She Said, directed by Srimati Gauri Ram Narayan, play by Just Us Repertory, Tamil Nadu. 15 July, The Stronger, directed by Sri Vinay Verma, English play by the group Sutradhar, Telangana, Hyderabad. 16 July, the play Macrum and the Power Play, directed by Sri Tamal Shane, Hindi play by Mudhumgram Notomon Natya Sangastha, West Bengal. 17 July, Tirangai, directed by Sri Chakresh Kumar, Hindustani play by Alankar Theatre Group, Chandigarh. 18 July, Chor Chor Musere Bhai, directed by Sri Akram Khan, Hindi play by Sangam Theatre Group, Resai, Jammu and Kashmir. 19 July, Sakharam Binder, directed by Sri Ganeshwar Mishra. Hindi play by Rang Yatra, Lucknow, UP. 20 July, Kamala, directed by Srimati Gitanjali Girwar. Hindi play by Artists Combined, Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior. 21st July, the play is Shukhu Dukhu, directed by Sanjay Kaur, by the play Natyabhumi Tripura, Agartala, Tripura. 22nd July, the play is Ram Rajya, directed by Ditya Biswal, by the play Saraswati Kala Niketan, Odisha. 23rd July, the play Ek Mulakat Manto Se, directed by Ashwath Bhat, Actors Girls, Mumbai, Maharashtra. 24th July, this is the end day of our festival, play Sri Charano Kamaleshu, directed by Sri Dhrupad Ghosh, by the production of Noihati Rangosena, West Bengal. This is the 15 play by 14 individual states. Here we go. Our last memorial speech is given by Sri Ashok Mishra, the eminent screenplay writer and lyricist, two-time National Award winner from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Let's listen him.
सभी रंगकर्मियों को, थिएटर वर्कर्स को, थिएटर गोवर्स को मेरा नमस्कार। दोस्तों, आप देख ही रहे हैं कि ये पेंडेमिक चल रहा है। इसमें रंग सेना ने एक आयोजन किया है देश की कई भाषाओं के नाटकों का, और इस वजह से ये आयोजन, ये कार्यक्रम आज बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट लग रहा है मुझे। ध्रुपद घोष जी ने मुझे आमंत्रित किया और मुझसे कहा कि मैं इस कार्यक्रम के बारे में कुछ बोलूं, तो मुझे बड़ी खुशी हुई। दोस्तों, पेंडेमिक के इस समय में एक चुनौती बनी हुई है रंगमंच के लिए कि रंगकर्मी क्या करें, टेक्नीशियन क्या करें। सब खाली बैठे हैं, दर्शक नहीं है, ऑडियंस नहीं आ रही है। ऐसे समय में ये आयोजन जो ऑनलाइन नाटकों का मंचन है, प्रदर्शन है, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंस रखता है। एक तो इसमें कई भाषाओं के नाटकों को शामिल किया गया। असमीज नाटक है, तमिल नाटक है, अंग्रेजी में एक नाटक है, ऐसी कई भाषाओं में नाटक है। तो इससे हम देश में रंगकर्म के बारे में क्या चल रहा है, क्या सोच चल रही है, कैसे नाटक कर रहे हैं लोग, वो सब हम इस आयोजन के जरिए देख सकते हैं। तो रंग सेना का ये एक महत्वाकांक्षी आयोजन है, जिसके लिए मेरी बहुत शुभकामनाएं हैं, और ये आयोजन बहुत सफल हो, इसको बहुत सारे लोग देखें। और नाटक या कोई भी कला अगर प्रयोग न हो तो धीरे धीरे मरने लगती है। एक्सपेरिमेंट इज मस्ट इन एनी थिएटर फॉर्म और आर्ट फॉर्म। एक्सपेरिमेंट इज मस्ट। तो प्रयोग अगर हम करेंगे नए नए, तो हमारे लिए नए नए रास्ते भी खुलेंगे। हो सकता है धीरे धीरे इसको एक हम व्यावसायिक रूप भी दे सकते हैं। ऑनलाइन थिएटर की भी टिकटें बिकने लग जाएं, लोग खरीदें और हमारे रंगकर्मियों को इसका लाभ हो। और ये पेंडेमिक तो भाई है, बहुत भयानक है, क्या मालूम आगे चलकर और भी कुछ भयानक चीजें हमारे सामने आए। ऐसे समय में हमको इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को भी यूज करके देखना चाहिए कि ऑनलाइन थिएटर हो सकता है कि नहीं हो सकता है। क्योंकि लोग तो कहते हैं कि नाटकों का मजा रंगमंच में ही है, क्योंकि वो जीवंत होता है। बहुत सही बात है कि जीवंत मीडियम है ये, लाइव मीडियम है ये। हम अपने आंख के सामने अभिनेता को देखते हैं अभिनय करते हुए, प्रकाश के प्रभाव को देखते हैं, वेशभूषा कॉस्ट्यूम्स के प्रभाव को देखते हैं, तो उसका एक अनुभव अनोखा ही होता है। लेकिन अगर ऐसा नहीं कर पा रहे हैं हम, तो ऑनलाइन थिएटर को हमको इस्तेमाल करके देखना चाहिए। और ऐसा नहीं, बहुत सारे दुनिया भर में रंगमंच जो हो रहा है, तो जैसे शेक्सपियर थिएटर है, ग्लोब थिएटर है लंदन में, वो बहुत अच्छा शेक्सपियर के नाटकों का ऑनलाइन टेलीकास्ट कर रहे हैं। जो मंच में हुए हैं उसी का ऑनलाइन वीडियो वो टेलीकास्ट करते रहते हैं, और उनको देखो तो लगता है अरे वाह क्या बात है। क्या परफॉर्मेंस है। तो इस तरह से हम भी कर सकते हैं और हम उसको एंजॉय कर सकते हैं, हमारे दर्शक एंजॉय कर सकते हैं। और इस समय बहुत सारा ऑडियंस आपको मिल सकता है, क्योंकि लोग घरों में हैं। तो घरों में हैं तो इस तरह की चीजें देखने का आनंद लेना चाहते हैं। खासकर वो लोग जो थिएटर लवर्स हैं, तो उनको आप जोड़ सकते हैं, नए दर्शक आप पैदा कर सकते हैं। तो जब आपका नाटक मंच में होने लगेगा, तब आपको हो सकता है ज्यादा ऑडियंस मिले। आपकी ऑडियंस एक तरह की ये फ्री की पब्लिसिटी है आपकी, जो ग्लोबल लेवल पे आप कर रहे हैं, सारी दुनिया के लोग देख रहे हैं। तो इसलिए इस तरह के आयोजन और होने चाहिए, और हो सकता है ये मिसाल बने तो और लोग भी हमारे यहाँ ऐसा करने लगे। मेरे एक मित्र थे, अभी हाल ही में कोरोना से उनकी डेथ हो गई, बसंत काशीकर। वो जबलपुर के थे और बड़े ही बढ़िया रंगकर्मी, मतलब डिवोटेड थे वो, और वो बहुत अच्छे अभिनेता, बहुत ही अच्छे निर्देशक। तो उनका एक आध नाटक मैंने जबलपुर में कभी था, मैं तो मैंने देखा था, लेकिन बाद में उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि सर आप मेरे और नाटक भी देखिए। तो उन्होंने मुझे अपने नाटकों के वीडियो भेजे। तो मुझे लगा कि ये अच्छे नहीं होंगे या मजा नहीं आएगा, लेकिन जब मैंने देखा उनको, तो कमाल का एक्सपीरियंस हुआ मेरे लिए। मौसा जी जय हिंद देख करके उनका नाटक उन्होंने भेजा, बहुत ही खूबसूरत था। और भी ऐसे 2-3 नाटक उन्होंने मुझे भेजे। तो आप लोग भी ऐसा कर सकते हैं। फिर ये नई तरह की टेक्नोलॉजी है काम करने की। हो सकता है कि थिएटर और सिनेमा करीब आ जाएं इस तरह के प्रयोग करने से, या सिनेमा और टीवी करीब आ जाएं और रंगमंच उनका हिस्सा बन जाए। तो सिनेमा, टीवी, रंगमंच, इस सब का एक तरह का हम मेल भी करा सकते हैं, दोस्ती भी करा सकते हैं कि कुछ हम उनसे लें, कुछ हम उनको दें, और जो रंगकर्मी हैं उनको एक बड़ा एक्सपोजर मिलेगा। क्योंकि थिएटर में यही होता है कि लोग एक्सपोजर कम होता है, कि ज्यादा लोग देख नहीं पाते, ज्यादा शोज आप कर नहीं पाते। बहुत ही कम रंग मंडलियां हैं ऐसी, थिएटर ग्रुप्स हैं ऐसे जो अपने नाटकों का शोज बहुत ज्यादा कर पाते हो। बम्बई में तो हैं, पर और छोटे जगहों में, कलकत्ता में भी होंगे और दिल्ली में भी होंगे, बड़े महानगरों में हो सकता है। लेकिन छोटे शहरों में रंगकर्मी अपने अच्छे खूबसूरत नाटक जो बनाते हैं, वो उसका भी 1 या 2 शो कर पाते हैं। तो इस तरह से रिकॉर्डिंग हो जाए उसकी, और वो उसको देश भर में, दुनिया भर में प्रसारित कर सकें, तो बड़ा अच्छा होगा। हमको बहुत दुख होता है कि हमारे जो पूर्वज नाटककार, निर्देशक थे, चाहे वो कालिदास का समय रहा हो या आधुनिक काल रहा हो, बादल सरकार का युग रहा हो, तो इनके नाटक रिकॉर्ड नहीं कर सके हम। हबीब तनवीर के नाटक, बीवी कारंत के नाटक, इनके नाटक अगर हम रिकॉर्ड कर सकते, किया होगा हमने, पर एक सामान्य वीडियो जैसा रिकॉर्ड कर लिया होगा, जो शादी वाले जैसे रिकॉर्ड करते हैं ना, मैरिज, पर अच्छे से हमने नहीं किया। अगर ये होता हमारे पास आज, तो हम बड़े समृद्ध होता, हमारा रंगमंच समृद्ध होता, उसकी लाइब्रेरी समृद्ध होती, और वो एक अनोखा संग्रह होता हमारे पास। तो रंगकर्मी अपने काम का संग्रह कर सकते हैं, कलेक्शन कर सकते हैं, छोटे नाटक कर सकते हैं, बड़े नाटक कर सकते हैं। एक्सपेरिमेंट की बहुत ज्यादा सुविधा है पेंडेमिक में। ठीक है, मान लो चलिए आप परफॉर्मेंस नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, तो आप और बहुत सारा काम कर सकता है रंगकर्मी। मसलन कि अपने दोस्त यारों को आप बुला सकते हैं, अभी तो कम हो गया कोरोना, तो आप दोस्त यारों को घर बुला सकते हैं, नाट्य पाठ कर सकते हैं। बहुत सारे नाटक ऐसे हैं जो पढ़ने के लिए रंगकर्मियों के लिए बचे हुए हैं, चाहे कालिदास के नाटक हों, शेक्सपियर के नाटक हों, और बहुत सारे नाटककार जिनको हम अगर चाहें तो उनका पाठ कर सकते हैं अपने घरों में, अपने ड्राइंग रूम्स में, अपनी छत में। और एक बड़ा काम कर सकते हैं। पढ़ना भी बहुत जरूरी होता है एक रंगकर्मी के लिए। हम पोएट्री सेशन रख सकते हैं, हम कहानी सेशन रख सकते हैं, क्योंकि रंगकर्मी के लिए पोएट्री की समझ बहुत जरूरी है। उसके लिए लिटरेचर की समझ बहुत जरूरी है। पहले तो रंगकर्मी जितने थे वो सब पढ़े लिखे थे, वो होते थे, वो लिटरेचर से अच्छा ताल्लुक रखते थे। लेकिन आज के जो नए रंगकर्मी आ रहे हैं वो कम पढ़ते हैं। पढ़ना वैसे भी कम होता जा रहा है, क्योंकि हमारे पास फेसबुक, सोशल मीडिया सब आने की वजह से पढ़ कम रहे हैं हम, पढ़ने में मन नहीं लगता है। तो कम से कम इस तरह के सेशन हो अगर घरों में, तो आप लोग पेनेडेमिक का उपयोग कर सकते हैं, एक अच्छा उपयोग कर सकते हैं। फिर आप लिख सकते हैं नाटक। जो लोग लेखक हैं वो तो नाटक इस समय उनके लिए लिखने के लिए सुनहरा समय है, बहुत अच्छे नाटक लिख सकते हैं। अपने मित्रों को आमंत्रित कर सकते हैं कि आइए और नाटक सुनिए, मैंने नया नाटक लिखा है। क्योंकि नाट्य लेखन की भी बहुत ज्यादा देश को जरूरत है। नाट्य लेखक कम है, नाटक नए बहुत कम लिखे जा रहे हैं, अच्छे नाटक तो बहुत ही कम लिखे जा रहे हैं। तो मजबूरन हमको अनुवाद ही करते रहना पड़ रहा है या पुराने नाटकों को ही करते रहना पड़ रहा है। तो क्यों ना इस समय नाटक लिखा जाए, इंटरेक्शन सेशन हो रंगकर्मियों के साथ, एक्टर्स के साथ। तो हम जैसे ही पेंडेमिक खत्म होगा, हमारे पास नए नाटक होंगे करने के लिए। ये एक अच्छा प्रयोग हो सकता है, मैं समझता हूँ। दूसरा कि कोरोना एक ऐसी समस्या के रूप में आया है जिसके बारे में सोच विचार रंगकर्मियों को भी करना चाहिए। कोरोना को लेके बहुत सारे नाटक लिखे जा सकते हैं, किए जा सकते हैं, बनाए जा सकते हैं, क्योंकि कोरोना एक बड़ी विपदा के रूप में आया। हम सब ने देखा है कि किस तरह से लोगों को तकलीफ हुई। हमने सपने में भी नहीं सोचा था कि ऑक्सीजन के लिए ऐसी मारामारी होगी। तो इन सबको देखते हुए कोरोना पे प्रयोग करना चाहिए रंगकर्मियों को, नाटक करना चाहिए, नाटक लिखना चाहिए। जो ट्रेजेडीज हुई हैं बहुत सारी, कई जगह बहुत करप्शन हुआ है, कई जगह फर्जी वैक्सीनेशन हुए हैं, नकली वैक्सीनेशन हुए हैं। ये सब हमारे समय की त्रासदी है, ट्रेजेडीज हैं। मौतें हुई हैं, अपने करीबी लोगों को अचानक हमने खो दिया है। तो ऐसे समय में इस कोरोना पे भी चिंतन विचार रंगकर्मियों को करना चाहिए और नाटक बनाने चाहिए। प्रोपेगेंडा नाटक तो खैर बनते ही रहते हैं कि मास्क लगाओ, 2 गज की दूरी रखो, ये तो प्रोपेगेंडा नाटक हुए। लेकिन इसके अलावा हम और विषय ले सकते हैं और हम उस पर नए नाटक तैयार कर सकते हैं। तो कोरोना काल को अभिशाप ही न माने, वो एक उसको वरदान में बदले, तभी रंगकर्मियों की शक्ति। और रंगकर्मी बहुत जीवट आदमी होता है, वो तरह तरह से संघर्ष करके नाटक बनाता रहा है, बड़ी मुश्किल से नाटक तैयार होते हैं। तो ये मुश्किल कोई बहुत बड़ी मुश्किल नहीं है कि हम ऑनलाइन के लिए नाटक तैयार करें, और इसके लिए कोई बहुत तकनीकी चीजों की भी जरूरत नहीं है। आज आपके पास एक अच्छा मोबाइल हो तो आप नाटक क्या, फिल्म बना सकते हैं। तो अब नाटक रिकॉर्डिंग करें। यह है कि रिकॉर्ड करने वाला एक निर्देशक होना चाहिए। एक निर्देशक नाटक को निर्देशित करे और एक उसको रिकॉर्ड करे, वो भी बहुत टैलेंटेड आदमी होना चाहिए। अगर निर्देशक ये काम कर सके तो और अच्छी बात है। अगर निर्देशक नहीं कर पा रहा है तो किसी अच्छे सिनेमेटोग्राफर टाइप के रंगकर्मी को लगाना चाहिए इस काम में। तो हम बहुत अच्छे नाटक पेश कर सकते हैं और इसका भविष्य मुझे लगता है कि बहुत उज्जवल है। अक्सर क्या होता है कि किसी नई चीज को एक्सेप्ट करने में बहुत लोग हिचकिचाते हैं, कहते हैं नहीं 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 नहीं, रंगमंच में ही नाटक अच्छा लगेगा, ये सब बेकार है, ऑनलाइन कई मेरे दोस्त ऐसा बोलते हैं। पर मैं इसको बिल्कुल नहीं मानता। मैं कहता हूं कि आप प्रयोग करो, अब नए तरीके से नाटक को सोचो, नए तरह से उसको डिजाइन करो, तो आप बहुत अच्छा काम कर सकते हैं। उसमें भी रंगमंच शामिल है। अगर नाट्य शास्त्र जब हमारा बना तो उसमें सभी विधाएं हैं। भरत मुनि ने नाट्य शास्त्र की रचना की तो उसमें सभी विधाएं हैं। नृत्य है, नाटक है, संगीत है, कहानी है, सब कुछ है। लेकिन सिनेमा नहीं है, क्योंकि सिनेमा उस काल में था नहीं। अगर होता तो मेरा पूरा यकीन है कि भरत मुनि उसको भी शामिल करते रंगमंच में। तो दोस्तों, ये समारोह बहुत सफल होगा और मुझे बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं हैं। एक बार मैं फिर रंग सेना को और ध्रुपद घोष जी को अपना धन्यवाद कहूंगा, उनका आभार कहूंगा, आप सभी मित्रों का आभार, और जो रंग मंडलियां, थिएटर ग्रुप्स नाटक करने जा रहे हैं, उन सबको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। और मैं ये नाटक देखने की पूरी कोशिश करूंगा और अपने रिएक्शंस भी दूंगा आपको। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
धन्यवाद अशोक मिश्रा जी. Thanks for him. Thank you everyone. Thank you to our all guests. We are at the moment of ending this ceremony. We will end. Before that, we will try to thank Sri Chandra Dasanji for his memorial marvelous speech. We are also thankful to Sri Amnam Sadanand Singh ji for his experience to share with us. We are also thankful to Dr. Shejuti Roy Mukherjee and Sri Balwant Thakur, and obviously Sri Ashok Mishra ji, and obviously to
We
Mr.
can't hear
Debabrata
Drupad's
Ghosh.
sound.
Hello. We will end this situation with the speech, memorial speech by Indian Theatre Message on how nature relates to performing art by Sri Ratan Thiam, an eminent legendary theatre director from Imphal, Manipur. So you all can take leave or you can stay with us. We will just end this live through his memorial speech. So let's.
And the
watch.
other thing is that, you see, when everything is getting lost day by day, that gradually the entire process of civilization has changed, and that the technology we have already, have technology and its fanfare we have already done it. Welcome the technology with fanfare, with comfort, with everything. But gradually we are also losing our own way of dealing with life, you see. And the kind of loneliness that we feel now is not there earlier, was not there earlier. You see, when you have been talking about the relationship and the communications, bridge of communications, and losing of many things, the relationship, particularly human relationship. You see, it applies in art, it applies in life, because life is close to art. Life is art. Yes. So in between this, if the tribal people, the Adivasi people, with their simplicity in carrying out their daily lifestyle and enjoying their daily lifestyle, and then not only that, they enjoy water, they enjoy the forest, they enjoy everything, the birds, and you will see their music, their dance, which is more to do with human and nature, right. And human being and nature. And there is no artificial energy in it. But we are really accustomed with artificial energy. Now, we can't live without electricity, we can't live without the air conditioner, we can't live without refrigerator, we can't live without car, air conditioner, everything. And these are all artificial energy. But they can still survive without, artificial energy. And that is one of the most important things to learn by the so-called civilized people. That becomes more important. So, and that's why the energy, the living energy, is being portrayed in their performances. You could see that how it is really coming so powerfully in their performances. And that is where, it becomes very important in terms of documentation, in terms of conservation, in terms of many, many things. It's really important, but it is also important that this is a living example to learn by our civilized people, modern people. Art is a creative field where you can't stop the search. But at the same time, it becomes more important that while doing that search and the creative activities, your input, again and again, the question of aesthetics comes, it knocks in your door. And that aesthetics determines the height of that performing art form. But in art, what happens is the best authenticity in art comes from where? From the taste.
Yeah.
From the taste,
Yeah.
that is. If his taste is really good enough, whether it is a tribal taste, whether it is a classical taste, whether it is a taste of, a kind of community, a kind of... So what we do in making an art product all the time, you will see that everywhere thousands and thousands of productions are there. So you have, it is like, a mango tree. 1,000 mangoes, the same taste. Not very sweet, nothing doing more than that. But when you have another mango tree where only 1 or 2 mangoes are there, but it's so sweet, it smells good, it's very good. So there you cannot stop this tree also with thousands of mangoes with the same. You cannot stop this one also. It will be always there, always there. But the changes which is coming out of our civilization, it may be taken as a boon sometime or as a curse sometime.
Yes.
It depends, to an artist. But if an artist is really, really very good enough to understand about his creative factors and elements that he tries to bring into his creative activities, one has to be really careful and study properly most of the performing art forms which exist now. And that is where the tribal art form is also one of them, which exist. And if you listen to them, if you look at them, it's really unparalleled kind of thing which you get. So it will survive. In spite of all your SMS or in spite of all yours with this, but it will take, a different shape maybe in future. The face may be a little bit deteriorated sometime, again coming into the full circle, but nobody can say that. But one has to go on exploiting all these ideas.
धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया सारे गेस्ट को. We will end this live with our one short Tatthachitra about whatever we have. We have very small team. Whatever we can serve in a pandemic situation for the people who are in need. Manusher kache, Manusher pashe. Through this video, we will end this ceremony. Thanks to Sri Chandra Dasan, thanks to Dhruva Devabruta Ghosh, thanks to Sadanand Singh ji to be with us. Here we will end this ceremony. Thank you everyone.
Sangachadvam Sangbadadvam Sangvo Manansi Janata Samiti Samani Samanang Mana Sahachita Mesha Sangachadvam Sangbadadvam Sangvumanamsi Janata Samani Vayakuti Samana Hridayaniva Samani Vayakuti Samana Hridayaniva Samanamastu Mano Yathava Susahasati Sangachadvam Sangbadadvam